Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple Your No Shit Gaming News video. That's 3 news stories in one video with 0 faff. Remember last week when Sony pulled out of PAX East because of the coronavirus? Well, as it turns out, the Boston mayor did not like that.
Not one bit.
Mayor Marty Welsh has sent a letter to Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida expressing his disappointment in the company. These fears reinforce harmful stereotypes that generations of Asians have worked hard to dismantle. They trigger our worst impulses, to view entire groups with suspicion, to close ourselves off, and miss out on the opportunities and connections our global city provides. Boston is united in our efforts to dispel these harmful and misguided fears. Walsh is certainly right in saying that the coronavirus has added to discrimination against Asian people as a whole. Boston's Chinatown district has suffered greatly from the coronavirus outbreak, not because of the infection, but because of the associated stigma, meaning that people are avoiding the area entirely. However, he seems to neglect the impact the virus is already having on the games industry and the risks it poses. Multiple companies have faced developmental and production setbacks, and more are expected to come unless the virus is stopped. Hopefully, no one will get any bright ideas after the Resident Evil 3 remake launches. Walsh believes Sony's actions were guided by confusion and lack of information, although I would argue it is in Sony's best interest to protect its employees against exposure to the COVID-19 virus, also known as novel coronavirus, especially with the imminent announcement of the PlayStation 5, which has no doubt been delayed because of the virus. Walsh continues, as a large international company, you have an opportunity to set a good example. As a leader in technology, you can show that you are motivated by facts, not fear. As a leader in gaming and culture, you can show that you believe in connection, not isolation. I think the fact here is that there is a very real risk of exposure even before anyone arrives at the crowded event. I would argue that prioritizing the safety of your employees actually sets a very good example. Walsh's concern first and foremost is for the welfare of the city of Boston, and so it should be, but pretending that this message is anything but a plea for business to return to Boston is woefully ignorant. It does seem pretty bizarre to me that Walsh, a white man, is criticizing Kenichiro Yoshida, an Asian man, about Asian harmful stereotypes. But then again, maybe he's just mad that he couldn't get his hands on that Last of Us Part 2 demo. And moving on, GameStop has been a staple of gaming culture in America for decades, but those days are long, long gone. It may now finally be time for GameStop to stop. It's no secret that the game retailer has one foot in the grave, and after a recent expose by Polygon's Colin Campbell, things are looking even worse at GameStop. Campbell spoke to more than a dozen current and former employees, including managers, about the state of the company. The staff described GameStop as frantic and distrustful when talking about the company's sheer desperation, and said that the structure is falling apart. With stock prices at a 15-year low, executives have resorted to pushing pre-orders, merch sales, and subscriptions even harder than they already were, which was already driving customers away. In September last year, GameStop closed 200 of the 4,000 stores across the US, with more closures expected to come. The company has seen multiple CEOs over the past few years, the most recent of which is George Sherman, formerly of other retail chains like Target, Home Depot, and Best Buy. His current strategy seems to be to cling on for dear life until the new consoles launch towards the end of this year, but the actual in-store employees aren't exactly confident in this plan. One former employee said, "I don't think senior executives even believe that this is just a cyclical downturn. They're just trying to keep investors happy and pad their bonuses before they parachute out." The origin of GameStop's woes can be attributed to a number of things, but fundamentally most of its problems come from changes in consumer behaviors. Across the board, fewer and fewer people are visiting brick-and-mortar stores in the retail industry, with more and more people moving their purchases online. Then there's the general shift away from physical boxed games to digital downloads within the games industry. One employee even referenced Fortnite as a contributing factor, because kids today just aren't playing anything else. Fortnite is killing the games industry. More than half of every gamer under the age of 18 plays Fortnite almost exclusively, so foot traffic is down. We sell V-Bucks, but they almost never buy other games now. It's hard to argue against the juggernaut that is Fortnite, but GameStop is failing its own staff as well as its investors. Things have changed drastically. Our district manager is pushing tech trades like iPhones and tablets, as well as pre-order reservations. No one cares about the games or the customers anymore. It's obnoxious. This is certainly something that has been documented on YouTube by GameStop customers for years and only adds more nails to the retailer's coffin. While I'm personally sad to see games retail dying, GameStop doesn't exactly seem to be doing itself any favors these days. You can find a link to the full article down in the description below, so make sure you give that a look if you're interested. And finally, Pokémon can be a touchy topic these days, with controversy and toxicity hidden around every corner. But once in a while, something comes out to show us how wholesome and nice Pokémon really can be. Today, that comes in the form of Simone Lim, the 7-year-old Pokémon champion from Oceania from Singapore. In the final, the young trainer knocked out Justin Miranda Radbourd, the defending champion and experienced Pokémon battler, despite this being her first year of competitive play. After anticipating her opponent's moves perfectly, Simone became the 2020 Oceania Pokémon champion. Accompanied by her Eevee plushie, Simone endured the 25-minute match and humbly walked away victorious, immediately receiving a hug from a friend who came to support her. As you might expect, the Pokémon community has been fully behind Simone. Who knew it would take a 7-year-old to show the world what Pokémon is really all about?
It was pretty obvious.
And that's it for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. I've been Henry Cooper. That's all for today. Bye for now. And I would argue do that quite a lot. The scarf described GameStop. Bloody kids with your Fortnite, you're ruining the games industry. If you want to see more, click right here to see more. Not Jeremy Johns, I wish I was. And next stop, GameStop. This is your announcer speaking. The next stop is GameStop.